All right, guys, what's up? Waiting on Ryan. Be getting a call. As you can see by the title, we're talking about heat topics again. Kind of what I just posted in my last video recently, like 15 minutes ago. It's going to be a little about that, the whole Kyrie Irving situation, you know, stuff like that. I'll be in by now. Let me look at the comments.
Hello?
What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. The air conditioner just went out like 2 days ago, so I've been in the house sleeping in heat.
Oh, God, man. I heard in the video you had a cold, too. That was what I was dealing with last week.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't get sick in the summer. It's crazy. You know, it was.
I caught my cold from my girlfriend's aunt, so.
Yeah, that was I was gonna say. It was some chick at the gym that was coughing it up yesterday, so I might have got it from her. You know,
that would make sense.
Yeah, so
I shouldn't have shaken my girlfriend's aunt's hand. That was silly because we already all knew she had a cold. I don't know why I would do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, so that new Kyrie Irving stuff that came out.
Yeah, man. The Heat, you know, as you know, you probably know, they just. Well, someone just texted me about something. All right, they just said that the Heat will be willing to give up Winslow and Dragic. I don't like that trade at all.
Yeah, I mean, I posted on Twitter about that. I said that could easily backfire if Winslow develops. And the reason I think that Winslow's more important than, a guy like Kyrie Irving is because at this point in the league, it seems like point guards are a dime a dozen. There's a ton of elite point guards in the league. It's not that hard to find an elite point guard. It's hard to find a guy like Winslow. It's less likely you're going to find a guy in the mold of like Winslow or Kawhi Leonard or something like that than you are of a guy like Kyrie.
Exactly.
So like a wing that can play both ways and do what Winslow could possibly do if he develops is definitely more valuable than a point guard in general.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think at the end of the day, Pat Riley's not going to pull that move. I think Winslow's untouchable, honestly.
I mean, Woj is like you said, Woj is the number one guy. I mean, I every time I need some sort of update and I want something trustworthy, I always check his Twitter. So I mean, it's possible that he did offer that. I mean, I think I would trust Pat Riley, and Pat Riley is a GM that's definitely good at winning now, and he's always been good at keeping the team competitive at all times. So if he feels like Winslow's too far down the road, or if Winslow can't develop, or there's a chance that Winslow can't develop, and they can get a guy like Kyrie, and they think that that's the solution. I mean, Pat Riley knows what he's doing, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Winslow on the trading block. That being said, I'm not sure I like the trade. I don't think necessarily it works long term for the Heat.
I mean, people are not giving Winslow a chance. The dude was hurt last year. Before he got hurt, he played very good.
I mean, his offensive game is definitely
it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's a work.
I mean, like I mentioned this in my video the other day that I made, which is that I think he just needs a lot of confidence, and I think, bringing back a guy like Wade or having some sort of veteran work with him and get his confidence up. I mean, as a basketball player, the worst thing that can happen to you in terms of offensive game is if you lose confidence in your shot. and you start to not believe that your shots are going to go in, because then they're definitely not going to go in.
Exactly.
So he needs something to build up his confidence. But if he can't, and it keeps getting worse and worse, I mean, he's just going to end up at not ever developing his game.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs that confidence.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's crazy, honestly.
I mean, I have my phone here just to make sure that there aren't any more updates. But I mean, I don't like. I heard that there were 5 other teams also that made offers for Kyrie. I'm assuming the Knicks offered Carmelo. You would think that would be what they would offer. You'd think the Suns, who also sent an offer, would offer Eric Bledsoe. I heard the Spurs made an offer. I don't know who they could. I mean, I'm sure Aldridge was in that. Otherwise, contractually, I'm not sure if it works, or I'm not sure if the Spurs would want to do it. The Timberwolves also made an offer. You would think Wiggins would be in that, depending on. I don't know. I don't know if I would get. I definitely like Kyrie more than Wiggins, but I think Wiggins has grown with those guys there. I don't know if you want to give up Wiggins at this point. And then also they said that there was one other team that made an offer. I'm trying to figure out who that was, but there were 6 teams that made it.
And I don't know, man. Say what?
Sorry, no, I thought I remembered it and then I didn't.
I don't know. I just think it's crazy, man. I think Winslow. No, not Winslow. I think Wiggins is not. They're not going to trade Wiggins. They're not going to trade Karl Anthony Towns. They're not going to trade Butler. They are dead in the water.
I mean, well, they could theoretically trade Teague in December, but they can't trade Teague right away because they just signed him.
But if I'm dead, well, no. Me personally, why would I trade for Jeff Teague instead of Gordon Dragic? Gordon Dragic is a better player than Jeff Teague.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I definitely take Gordon Dragic, but I mean, so I think in terms of what the Cavs could get back in terms of point guard, I think Bledsoe is the best, in my opinion. Bledsoe's the best two-way point guard out of all the guys that we listed. I think in terms of the best scorer they could get back at point guard, I think Dragic is a better scorer.
Well, okay.
Than Eric Bledsoe.
We're talking about Cleveland's offensive scheme. Doesn't Dragic fit better with because he spaces the floor more?
No, I don't necessarily know if he does. I mean, like he does if he's a good shooter. But you saw what happened when they put him with Wade. I mean, Dragic works best with the ball in his hands. I mean, his worst years are when he didn't have the ball in his hands.
Yeah, that's true. I can agree with that.
So I don't know if he's necessarily would be a scheme fit, off ball again. But yeah. I mean, so Wade basically he was actually. I mean, I love Wade and everything, but statistically, this. I mean, I think it was the plus minus the year that Wade and Dragic played a full year together. The plus minus massively favored Dragic over Wade that year.
Well, so Wade, the type of point guard that works well with Wade is a point guard that just spots up basically and let Wade do all this.
I mean, Chalmers was a nice point guard for him.
Best backcourt fit, not best backcourt partner, but fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
guys,
honestly, there's a lot of guys that could fit that role that I think, like guys like Chalmers. I think Patrick Beverley's another one of those types of players. Guys like that who can they don't have to have the ball in their hands. Malcolm Brogdon on the Bucks is another player that looks to be something like that. Yeah, I definitely think Bledsoe could be a good fit for the Cavs. I mean, I love Eric Bledsoe. I haven't really seen him in a long enough stretch or, in a consistent enough situation to see what he's capable of. In terms of potential, I think he still hasn't even hit his ceiling.
He's hurt too much.
Yeah, he's spent his entire career has been injuries. Honestly, he's also never played on a good team.
I think it's too late for Bledsoe. I think it's over. He's 27. I don't know.
At least
he's had an MCL injury tear. I think he had an ACL. I think. Don't quote me on that, but he had a lot of knee injuries and shoulder injuries and injuries of that type. I just think he's done. I really do. He can be still. To me, he still could be a good 6-man type of guard like Derrick Rose will be for Cleveland. But other than that, I don't see him being a good all-star. I just don't see it. I think so.
I can make a joke and be like, so if you sign Eric Bledsoe and Derrick Rose as your 2 point guards, you're really signing Jose Calderon to be your starter because he's their third string and they're both going to be injured.
Honestly, I don't understand what this is my problem though. The most person I'm mad with right now is Dan Gilbert. You do not treat him like this. Like if the guy wants to go, let him go. Stop screwing around with him and let him go. Just let him go. Someone you're gonna have to trade. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to trade for him now. You got to do it.
Like Kyrie at this point, it doesn't even look like he's going to report to any sort of training camp.
No, he's not.
There's no way. It's over there.
He's AWOL. He's done with his team.
Do you think the Cavs still have it on lock in the East? Because a lot of people are still saying that the Cavs, regardless of who they put with LeBron, have it on lock. I don't know about that.
Not on lock.
I hate that people just write it off as, oh, you can put anybody next to LeBron and they have it on lock. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, the Wizards, in my opinion, I think the Wizards are the biggest challengers for the Cavs because I don't see how the Cavs, deal right now with a team that's actually gelled in the way that the Wizards have and have that much talent. Obviously, I'm a Bucks person at this point too. I love the Bucks. Mm-hmm. So I think that the Bucks could definitely be a threat this year. I like the Celtics. I like the Heat. A lot of teams I think could make a push. And even if the Cavs win the East, it won't be a blowout in the way that was last season.
Yeah, it won't be. I think Cleveland's very vulnerable, and that's why everyone's making a fuss about Kyrie Irving getting traded because they know when Kyrie Irving's gone, even LeBron knows when Kyrie Irving's gone, it's going to be tough for him. I don't think he's getting. In my other videos, I'm a little more raw about it, but in this video, I'm going to say it's going to be tough for him. I don't think he's going to get to the finals that easily.
I mean, I think looking at the trades right now, the Cavs can't get any better in a Kyrie Irving trade. No, they can stockpile stuff for the future. Like Winslow would be a project for them for the future, and that would be if they think LeBron's going to leave. But you don't get better with Bledsoe over Kyrie. You don't get better with Dragic over Kyrie. So there's only a couple upgrades for that system. I think Steph Curry would be an upgrade over Kyrie for that system. I don't think a guy like Westbrook would be. I think that there's a very specific player that they need to put in that role, and I think Kyrie is one of the only guys that could fit that role perfectly in Cleveland.
Okay, Dark Knight says, no way Dragic will facilitate the offense better and space the floor. Bledsoe and Rose are the same types of play. Yeah, I agree.
I like Bledsoe more than Bledsoe's a way better defender. I mean, in Rose's prime, he was an elite scorer. I don't think Bledsoe is necessarily an elite scorer, but Bledsoe's a really nice defender. Really good defensive player. People don't realize how good of a defender he is. He's one of the best defensive point guards in the entire league.
He says, as a Heat fan, I say Bledsoe is better for the Cavs. That's how he worded it.
I mean, that's definitely probably true. I mean, Bledsoe is 6'1" and averages half a block per game in his career. I mean, he's the king of chase down blocks.
Oh, okay, but all right, that's all athleticism. We don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back. He just came off another knee injury. We don't know if he's going to come back athletic. We don't know.
Bledsoe?
And I honestly think Gordon Dragic and LeBron will work better because Gordon Dragic simply spaces the floor.
Bledsoe had a healthy year last year. The only reason he played 66 games was because they shut him down because they wanted to get the young guys in there. Bledsoe's actually had his first healthy year in a while last year.
Well, he got a knee injury and they shut him down.
No. They just shut him down to play the young guys. As far as I know, he didn't have any injuries.
They weren't going to win anyway, so they didn't.
Yeah, but they shut him down and put in Tyler Ulis or whatever it is. They didn't shut him down for any injuries, I don't think. The year before, he was injured the majority of the year, and then 3 years ago, he was injured the majority of the year as well. But last year was actually a healthy year for him.
I mean, I understand LeBron James wants Bledsoe in Cleveland because this is buddy or something, but I think Gordon Dragic is a better fit because he can space the floor. LeBron can drive and capable, like he did to Kyrie kind of.
I mean, Bledsoe's not a bad shooter, but he's not as good as Dragic at shooting the ball.
Bledsoe's a driver. But what do you think about Dan Gilbert? When do you think he's going to trade him?
I think that the Cavs are way more dysfunctional than the Heat. Oh. And I think you look at the way LeBron's treated their organization versus how he's treated the Heat. Mm-hmm. And Pat Riley, say what you want about Eric Spoelstra, say what you want about LeBron. Pat Riley wouldn't let LeBron James call the shots.
Because this is what happens when
LeBron's not a general manager. He can be when he retires, but first and foremost, he's a player.
Yeah, look at the Cavs. Look at LeBron controlling. Look at them now. They're in the clutch. I mean, they're in a bad position now, and LeBron's going to blow up next year. I don't care what no one says. He'll be surprised if he stays with that type of team around him and how they're stuck and all those guys. No one's going to take Tristan Thompson's contract. No one's going to take his contract, and no one wants him. So I think they're in a big hole. It's all because I'm not trying to sound like a LeBron hater, but he's influenced these deals.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so one of the most telling things about LeBron and the Cavs and how much they let him get away with, he wanted his head coach fired and then a month later he goes to Miami anyways.
Yeah,
Like, that's how much control he has over that organization. I mean, he can make them bend to his will.
and that's not good. That's not being.
You don't want that player. I mean, he's obviously a terrific player on the court. You don't want him to have that much off the court power in your organization as a player.
You think about it. Has any other All-Star ever had that control over their team like that? No, I don't think so.
I mean, Michael Jordan maybe, but I mean, Michael Jordan had a really nice coach, like a really not a nice coach, like a really good coach. Phil Jackson's not a nice guy, but
Jordan did not have that type of control over the Bulls organization like that. Like with the players he got, no way. Maybe,
and then you see like Boogie Cousins have like very little control over the organization, and you see how frustrated he gets too.
Yeah, but their organization is just terrible. The Kings are just terrible.
Like, I think you should give the players input as to what players to bring in and what coaches to bring in, but no player should ever have the final say.
No, that's exactly.
Yeah. There shouldn't be a disconnect, but players also shouldn't be the decision makers.
I was hearing a report, I think earlier this week, where I was reading on Instagram, there was this quote that LeBron James, the last year in Miami, in the finals, he wanted James Jones to get more minutes because that was another scoring output they could have, because we were terrible at scoring in the finals that year in 2014 against the Spurs. And I was thinking to myself, like, James Jones doesn't play defense. That's why Spo never puts him in the game, and he's very inconsistent. He can.
I mean, he's not. He does not more than a shooter. He doesn't even play any other offense outside of just shooting the ball.
Mm-hmm. He's just a shooter, and he doesn't play defense. You can't put someone out there that's going to get dunked on by Kawhi Leonard. Same thing that happened with Mike Miller. He got dunked on by Kawhi Leonard. These guys cannot play defense. Shane, the reason why he got the most is because he played defense. He can shoot a little. So
Shane Battier, like, he was definitely a great defender. He also played flop fence.
Yeah.
So like he could draw those like charges and stuff on a lot of the guys.
Yeah. He was smart.
I mean, yeah, he was definitely smart. And then that's why they had Haslam. That's why they re-signed Haslam a bunch of times on that team, even though Haslam couldn't stay healthy. Because in an ideal situation, you'd be able to put Haslam in there and he'd play good defense and grab rebounds and space the floor mid-range. Yeah. So that's why they liked him in there, as opposed to maybe somebody like trying to bring back Eddie Curry, who probably offered more offensively, but just doesn't have the defense rebounding, and it's a little bit of a project.
Well, that Eddie Curry thing was a failure.
That was hilarious. I used to like him back in the day. He was the original Baby Shaq.
Yeah.
But he couldn't stay under, he couldn't stay at a good weight. But I remember him coming to the Heat and coming back, and I was really excited because I was like, maybe this guy will be actually what he used to be. Maybe he can get him in shape. And he actually lost a bunch of weight, but he just looked a little clumsy, and he couldn't really ever get playing time. And a lot of it probably had to do with defense as well, because he was never a good defender or rebounder. But that's why you put a guy like Haslam in. He doesn't necessarily offer a ton on offense, but he can space the floor a little bit. He can get some rebounds. He can make his free throws, and he can play really nice defense. That's the same with like Shane Battier. Even if Shane Battier is not the greatest offensive player, if you can put a guy in late game, all he has to do is be able to shoot or space the floor a little bit, play good defense, and make his free throws, and that's it. That's all you really need.
Be smart, yeah.
So James Jones just can't do the defensive part of it, and because of that, you're basically giving up whoever he's covering, easy baskets. And in like a playoff situation, you're going to be facing teams that a lot of times have enough weapons to exploit that.
And that,
maybe not in the regular season when you're facing the Nets, but in the postseason, definitely.
And that tells me that LeBron James is not a great coach either. I don't know. I just think Dan Gilbert's going to have to. That's Kyrie Irving and Dan Gilbert. They're going to have to trade him sooner or later. Like, now is the best time to trade him because they're going to lose leverage as the weeks goes by, and as Kyrie continues to act not like girly or anything. He's just done with them, man. And people and hear me out, right? People say that Kyrie Irving's very childish. How is he being childish? I don't understand that.
But did you hear the rumor? I heard this on Cowherd the other day, and Colin Cowherd was actually trying to defend LeBron, which I don't like. He defends LeBron on everything, but this one I don't think he should have. Something about how LeBron wanted Kyrie for Chris Paul 2 years ago, and Kyrie found out about that and got his feelings hurt. And Cowherd's like, he shouldn't get his feelings hurt. Like, he should. It's like, yeah, he should. You guys just won a championship together, and now you want to get rid of the other guy. I mean, that's kind of a backstab in my opinion. How could you ever have confidence in your team if the player you just won a championship with, and you're basically like, the Robin to the Batman? how could you trust that team chemistry anymore? How could you trust your star, your teammate anymore if he's like going behind your back and trying to get rid of you? I completely get it. And whether or not Kyrie's acting in his own best interest in terms of winning, how could you ever want to play with somebody who just tries to, even after you just won a championship together, tries to trade you for one of his friends?
It's a complete joke.
Yeah, that's really, really that's a really backstabbing type of thing to do as a teammate who just won a championship.
Yeah, let's be honest. That's the best thing to do. Like that's not right.
And I mean, LeBron's an amazing player and everything, but we found out he can't win on his own. He needs help. And when Kyrie was healthy in that series, he was the absolute perfect, second guy. And then right after that, LeBron tries to get rid of him to get Chris Paul, his friend, on the team. That's kind of awful.
LeBron James, I don't get him sometimes. I think he thinks he wants at the time he wants it, and he just, I don't know. He's not the right guy to run your organization. Just be the best player and do that. Jordan never did all that. Jordan, Magic, Bird, those guys were just the best player, and that's all they did. They let the management handle all that. And whoever they got as teammates, like Jordan got Dennis Rodman, they maxed Dennis Rodman out to his full potential, and it worked. You're not. Jordan didn't ask for no Patrick Ewing. He didn't ask for what's the guy for Portland Trailblazers, Terry Porter. He didn't ask for guys like that. He didn't ask for Hakeem Olajuwon. He got the players that they gave him, and he worked with them and made them better.
Yeah, I mean, guys like Kobe Bryant and Jordan, they wanted like really good players to play with them, but they didn't try and be the guy trading their own players. Like, Kobe was like, if you can't get me help, then I'm not going to go anywhere. And then I want to get traded. And then they tried to trade him to the Bulls, and the Lakers were going to get Deng in return. But the reason Kobe wanted to go to the Bulls was because he wanted to play with Deng. Mm-hmm. So he was like, if I don't get to play with this guy, then just keep me on the team. And then, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's a difference between wanting to be traded and trying to find a spot to go to, and then trying to actively be a player, trading your teammate that just helped you win a championship for your friend. Like when your teammate wants to trade you, there's a difference between that and just wanting to be traded as your own person. Like if LeBron was like, I want to be traded to go play with Chris Paul, there's a difference between that and saying, can you please trade my teammate for Chris Paul?
Yeah, it's a complete.
They're not the same thing.
People don't understand. No one really wants to play with LeBron. If you really think Carmelo wants to play with LeBron, Carmelo will be in Cleveland right now as we speak, and Kyrie will be on his way to New York. Carmelo does not want to play with LeBron James because he knows how LeBron James acts.
It's kind of like if you would say like, oh, I don't like living in this neighborhood, so I'm gonna burn down my house. Versus like, I don't like living in this neighborhood, so I'm gonna burn down your house. Like that's like there's a difference between just wanting to get yourself out of there and then wanting actively trying to get somebody else. That team is just, the chemistry's gone. There's no way that they have that same chemistry, especially since whoever they place Kyrie with, the team's going to get significantly worse because Kevin Love is not a fit in today's NBA anymore. And the way he plays, he either needs to become a 5, which he's not going to be able to do, or he's not going to be able to fit in today's league.
And Dan Gilbert needs to accept that and trade Kyrie. Quit trying to hold on to him, or it's going to get worse. You really think that guy's going to go to training camp because you told him to? Definitely not. He's a millionaire. He's a champion. He does what he wants to do. And there's other rumors about Dan Gilbert's trying to he was trying to call Kyrie Irving, but he's not answering. For one thing, Dan Gilbert or a Cleveland organization ever trying to call Kyrie Irving, you call his agent. Kyrie Irving has nothing else to say about it. You call his agent. It's between you and his agent now. I don't and people say Kyrie is being immature and childish because he's making phone calls. No, he's not. He's actually being a business guy. It's between me. It's between Cleveland and my agent now, and that's how I should go about it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the Suns have been shopping Bledsoe for a while now. They're eventually going to get an offer, and if the Suns manage to trade Bledsoe somewhere else before Kyrie even gets dealt, the market for Kyrie shrinks even more, basically, because there's still a lot of teams that are looking to trade some of their players. The market for Kyrie is going to continue dwindling. With every day, he loses more and more value. Mm-hmm. So the Cavs either have to trade him or don't. but obviously they have to trade him. So the sooner the better, because if you wait too long, you're going to get Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. That's what you're going to get if you wait too long.
That's exactly
something like along the lines of that.
That's exactly what I said in my last video. You're going to get a bag of chips and a baby diaper if you don't trade Kyrie Irving now, because the leverage is going to keep going towards other teams and Kyrie Irving, and Cleveland's going to lose leverage every day. They're going to have to do it now. And that's what I said in my last video about Miami Heat. You just wait it out. If you can get Kyrie Irving for less than giving up Justice Winslow, you do that, because I think it's going to get worse and worse for Cleveland if they prolong this.
Now, if the Heat could get him for Dragic and somebody else outside of Winslow, maybe something like Josh Richardson or Tyler Johnson or something. Although I don't think you look at the salaries, I don't think Tyler Johnson would work out. Winslow's still on his rookie contract, but somebody like maybe Dragic and Josh Richardson. How would you feel about that if it was Richardson instead of Winslow?
I'll be okay with it, actually.
I mean, I don't see how that wouldn't work from a salary cap standpoint. I mean, I think Dragic and Kyrie are on similar contracts as far as I'm aware of.
Where a trade for Kyrie would actually work pretty good by himself, but Richardson's contract is not. Tyler Johnson would work also because he's in the $5 million range. His contract hasn't exploded yet. So
who Tyler Johnson's doesn't explode this year?
His contract exploded in 2018, 2017.
Oh, okay. But I mean, yeah, if you can give up somebody outside of Winslow, I mean, I think Kyrie's a better player than Dragic, but I don't think it's worth. I think when you put Winslow in there, it's no longer worth it.
Exactly, it's not worth to giving up a starter in a good guard, in a guard that's just as good as Kyrie offensively, but he doesn't handle the ball, or he's not flashy as Kyrie. That's all.
I want to look at it.
People, Kyrie Irving gets a lot. Why you looked it up, whatever. People give Kyrie Irving a lot of crap about not playing defense. Cleveland as a whole can play defense. So why do you expect him to play defense? It's just it really makes me mad when Kyrie Irving, he can't play defense. He's a team distraction. He's this. He's that.
I never heard team distraction. I have he's not the greatest defender. By the way, you're right about Tyler Johnson's contract. In this season, it's just under $6 million. And in 2018-2019, it goes up to nearly $20 million.
So as of now, you can trade Gordon Dragic and Tyler Johnson and a few very future round picks and get this over with and take Kyrie Irving and maybe a month.
Yeah, but will the Cavs want that on their books next year? I'm not sure.
I mean, what else do they want? What else are they gonna? They're not gonna get Kevin Durant for Kyrie Irving.
Ideally, you'd like to be able to sign somebody to convince LeBron to stay. So I don't know if they'd want that on their books in the back end. Like ideally, they want LeBron to stay. I mean, it's unlikely that he does, but they would like to at least try. And so I'm not sure if they would want that big a contract on their books when they're trying to entice LeBron to stay.
You know what's funny though? I want to go a little back in history. When LeBron James left the Miami Heat, everyone wants to say Dwayne Wade no. Dwayne Wade did not know. Why you think if you think Dwayne Wade knew, he would have not opted out of his contract. He would have stayed in his contract if he knew. He did not know that LeBron James was leaving. LeBron James didn't tell anyone as usual, and he just left when he decided he wanted to go through the motions to leave. And Dwayne Wade was basically stabbed in the back. And people don't want to admit it. Dwayne Wade, it's true. He did not know LeBron James was leaving. I already said he didn't.
I think pretty much everyone knew. I was pretty sure he would.
Honestly, Ryan, I didn't think he was going to leave. I thought we were going to get LeBron James back. I thought we were going to get the big three back, and we were going to get it back.
I think the struggle is in the fourth year. Hold on, sorry, I'm still getting over this cold. Jeez, my throat. Anyways, so I mean, I think that the struggles in the fourth year of the big three, I think that put the writing on the wall there. I think that was I think at that point I was pretty sure that he was going to leave. Because that was easily their worst year of the 4 years, especially since they had more talent in that first year and they still didn't do so great.
Yeah, I think LeBron James.
They were already starting, yeah.
LeBron James looked at Dwayne Wade, and he was right about Chris Bosh, but he looked at Dwayne Wade too, and he thought these guys are old and they're not going to last any longer in the NBA. And he went to the younger guy, Kyrie Irving. He saw that, and he wins. Whatever forget all this. I'm coming home. I want to, finish my promise, whatever. Screw all of that. He came back because he saw a talent in Kyrie Irving, and that's why he's being so girly about Kyrie Irving leaving, because he knows Kyrie Irving is the real deal. And when Kyrie Irving leaves, he is not. He's not making it to the finals every year. I'm telling you that now.
Probably not.
I'm telling you that now. And I think if Kyrie Irving was to come to the Heat, we would make him a better defender easily.
I mean, he'd definitely be forced to play defense because you don't get playing time on the Heat without playing defense.
Kyrie Irving can play defense now. I believe he can.
He probably could, but he's never really shown that he can. I'm not sure if it's an effort thing or not. I mean, like, for example, Damian Lillard's not a good defender. I don't know if it's because of effort or not, but he's never shown the ability either. But, they're both elite offensive players.
I don't think Damian Lillard can play defense. I think Kyrie Irving's a little more athletic. Well, not athletic, but I think Kyrie Irving can play defense. And this is why. Because the young Waiters came to the Miami Heat, and I was like, this guy's a freaking shot jacker that doesn't play defense. Now look at him. You can change Kyrie Irving's way of playing defense. I really think so.
Waiters played, nearly 50 games, and I don't remember him being on Shaqtin' a Fool this year.
Yeah.
So the Heat must have done something right.
They got him to buy defense and to really take basketball seriously. And I think we can get – Kyrie Irving's already talented as heck on offense. We don't need to help him on that.
That's another one thing I wanted to talk about was, do you think that he and Waiters will start getting along now if they're on the Heat together?
I think so. I think a lot of people say these guys don't get along. They hate each other. These guys are 25-year-old grown men making money into a sport they love playing, and they're actually playing with a balanced organization that's not all over the place. So
like Shaq and Barkley can be on the TV show together, and they hated each other when they played. So I think anybody can make it work if need be.
Trust me, Lonzo Mourning, Pat Riley, and Espo, and Udonis Haslem, these guys will get along. Trust me, especially if there's success. You got to remember one thing. Cleveland didn't have success, so of course guys are not going to like each other. If you're not successful, you're not happy. I think they could work in Miami. I don't buy that crap for nothing. They can work.
I think so too. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. I mean, they're both older and more experienced and have been more successful now. And so, they were both young guys, and they probably wanted to be the man on that team. And LeBron comes in and teaches them that neither of them are the man. Maybe they'll learn their lesson.
And it's not all. Another thing about Kyrie Irving, people saying he wants to just go to teams or he could be another AI. Honestly, I don't think that's the case. He just doesn't want to be under LeBron James' shadow. He doesn't want to deal with, when the team loses, it's Tristan Thompson, Kyrie Irving's, Kevin Love, J.R. Smith's, Shumpert. It's all their faults. But when the team wins, all the glory goes to LeBron. He doesn't want to deal with all of that, and I don't blame him. It's just,
Kyrie Irving's already not. He cannot possibly be AI because Kyrie Irving has already accepted being the number 2 option on a team. AI never was able to do that. In all of his years of playing, he couldn't do it.
Well, I find that wrong. If he accepted being the number 2 option, he would be content with staying with Cleveland. He would not.
He wasn't able to though. Iverson wasn't. I mean, Kyrie seemed to be able to. It seems to me that it's not even just about Kyrie wanting his own team. I mean, when your teammate wants you traded, when your teammates, dragging you through the mud, saying that he wants better teammates to win the finals next year. When you've got Kevin Love posting nonsense on Twitter, which I read an article about yesterday. When you've got all of this dysfunction, and you're tired of being just considered the problem if you lose, but then you were really helpful for the star when you win, then I think I would get tired of that too.
It was reports that Kyrie Irving wanted to leave the first year. No, not the first year, but after they won the championship, but he stayed instead. He was like,
the thing with me, I saw a different thing from LeBron in Miami and the world around them than I've seen in Cleveland since then. I mean, when LeBron got to Miami, Dwayne Wade was already an established star who had won a championship. And both he and Bosh had proven that they could win without LeBron. LeBron comes in. LeBron gets all the criticism. But then after they win a couple championships and LeBron goes back, and he goes back to Cleveland, and now LeBron is basically he's no longer getting enough criticism. And he's still obviously the best player in the league. But if his personality is driving his teammates away because he's trying to go behind, because now it's looking like he wants bigger and better type stuff, and so if he's going around backstabbing his teammates, and his teammates want to leave because of that, and if he's and if now the blame is pretty much on everyone else, that's not good for the team chemistry either. Like you shouldn't blame the entire thing on one person, but you also shouldn't absolve one person of blame. And obviously LeBron's the best player on that team. But if he's doing stuff that makes his teammates not want to play with him, if he's doing what Kyrie alleged he did, that's a really nasty thing to do as a teammate. He should be criticized for that. You shouldn't go behind your teammates' back and ask to have them traded.
Everyone else wants to get on KD for being a snake. At least he didn't want Russell Westbrook traded. He just left.
Yeah, like I said, there's a difference between you leaving and then you going behind your teammates' back and asking. And especially after what Kyrie did in the finals and how many big shots he made, you going behind your teammates' back after winning the finals and saying, hey, can you trade him for my buddy? I'd probably rather have CP3 on my team than Kyrie, but LeBron shouldn't do that to his teammate. You just won a championship. Why would you go do that to your teammate? That's a nasty thing to do.
He was a big part of you winning your third ring. Yeah.
Imagine if LeBron did that to Wade. You think they'd still be friends? Probably not. I wouldn't be friends with somebody who went behind my back and wanted me traded off their team. I wouldn't trust that person anymore because I don't know. I no longer know what that person thinks of me.
Well, nowadays, if you think about it, Wade really doesn't talk to LeBron that much. He's not around him that much. He's around Jimmy Butler.
They do. They're still buddies, I think.
They're still friends, but he's more social with Jimmy Butler and Carmelo Anthony now.
Who, Wade?
Yeah, but
Wade, LeBron, and Carmelo are all like best friends.
For a while. I know that, but
Wade and Jimmy Butler were hanging out in France when Butler got traded or something.
Yeah, they've been hanging out a lot lately. Those three.
I have a problem with side note. I have a problem with what Wade and Butler did last season when they said all our teammates are being awful, and then Rondo came out and was like, "Why don't you guys look in the mirror?" Yeah, that was kind of unnecessary. I wasn't a fan of Wade doing that. You may have that opinion. No need to go blast your teammates in the media.
Yeah, I was thinking Wade would never do that in Miami. Why is he changing all of a sudden?
I think LeBron used to be a humble guy, but then you see him in the middle of the season too going and being like, I need better teammates. These teammates are awful. It's like, shut up.
I like
LeBron. I think his personality on the court and his ego has definitely, ever since winning his championships, has definitely gotten bigger. He wasn't always like that. He wasn't the kind of, he would always be pretty responsible and he would always be a good teammate. And this is the first year in a really long time where I've ever seen him be like this egotistical. I don't know if I've ever seen him act the way he did this year, where he's going behind his teammates' backs, trying to get them traded. He's going to the media, blasting his teammates, getting coaches fired, all this stuff. And it's just, I've never seen him act like that. He's always been way above stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's just like at a certain point, Kyrie's just probably fed up with it.
No one wants to play with it besides Kevin Love. I think if Kevin Love had the chance, he'll get traded too. But I think Kyrie Irving. I agree with Kyrie Irving 100%. You are the man. You get out of there because deep down in your heart, when 2018 gets here, you're going to be stuck with Cleveland. LeBron's going to be gone on another super team, and you're going to be stuck in Cleveland with J.R. Smith and Kevin Love's contracts and Tristan Thompson.
Yeah. So, I'd like to see – this is something I'd personally like to see is I'd like to see Kyrie on the Bucks paired up with Giannis. I think that's deadly. I think that could be really, really scary.
Obviously, as a Heat, I'm going to say Miami, but Bucks will be cool. Another team I would like to see him on is probably New York. Obviously, he's not going to be successful on in New York.
I would actually probably start going to Knicks games if he went to New York.
Yeah, honestly,
my family sometimes goes to Madison Square Garden because we go up to New York a lot. So I would probably go to Knicks games. But obviously, I'd like him on Miami. But I don't know if I would if it involves Justice Winslow. If the Heat have to give up Justice Winslow, then I'd rather see him on the Bucks.
If Winslow's a sacrificial lamb, then it's a no-go.
I think if Winslow does develop an offensive game, he's the type of guy that anyone would want on their team because you want a guy like that, a two-way wing. Those guys are really valuable in today's NBA.
Just picture this, Ryan. Think about it. This is your starting lineup. It does go down. You have Gordon, Justice Winslow as point guard. Not Justice Winslow. Kyrie Irving at point guard. Dion Waiters at the 3 will probably be Robert. 4, James Johnson. 5, Whiteside. I think I like Justice Winslow at the 3. more than writing.
I think they'll probably end up starting Olynyk and bringing Johnson off the bench again. I think they're going to generally just do what they did last season, except swap Olynyk with or swap Olynyk in where Babbitt and Josh McRoberts were. But I think that could be really nice seeing.
That's why I said in a few videos back, I was like, I think I like James Johnson off the bench better, but they're going to start. This is what I think. I think he's supposed to experience him at the power, and then he's gonna when they start losing 4 games in a row, then they're gonna put it back on the bench and have their bench be elite again. I think that's what's gonna happen.
See, but if I'm the Cavs, if I don't get Winslow, is that enough to make the trade? Like if I get if I'm digging up and I get offered Dragic and Richardson, is that enough to make the trade? I don't know. I mean, Richardson.
You're asking
like I think that Richardson could work there. I mean, he's a 3-and-D guy.
Okay, you're asking me if I'm the Cavs, would it be enough? Well, to be honest, you don't have a future right now. Your team is not young anymore, so why try to get younger players? You are in a win mode. You're in a win now mode. So I think a Gordon Dragic would obviously be a great point replacement for Kyrie Irving. And a Tyler Johnson that's 26 years old. He'll be.
I definitely don't think they'd take Tyler Johnson. I just don't think they want the back end of that deal. But let's say Josh Richardson. Let's say something like that.
Okay, Josh Richardson. Sure, he's a young guy, but sure. But we're not going to get one of our youngest pieces to be on an older. Could you think about it? LeBron James does ball, and they're stuck, and they have Gordon Dragic. Who's their shooting guard? J.R. Smith. Yeah. Their starting forward is Justice Winslow because of LeBron James leaving, and then power forward. I don't even know who the center's going to be. Okay.
I mean, let's say Love is still there. I mean, if the Heat make this trade, they're definitely not getting Kevin Love.
Oh no, I don't want Kevin Love. Heck no. But yeah, your small forward, your guy will be Justice Winslow. He'll be basically what Kyrie Irving would be, a young guy on a bad team that's very old. So why would you want a younger guy like Justice Winslow if you're trying to win now? Doesn't LeBron James want guys that can do something?
You know what? I kind of realized, and this is kind of interesting. Outside of Kyrie, every single star that has gone and played with LeBron has been devalued. You look at Dwayne Wade; he lost his value quicker than you would think he would. Chris Bosh definitely lost his value in terms of people's opinions. And Kevin Love, everyone used to think that Kevin Love was the next great star, and then he was huge. And then he goes to play with LeBron, and all of a sudden he's just a joke. Yeah, I remember that happened sort of when Boozer went to the Bulls, and everyone originally was like, "Oh, the Heat should have gotten Boozer instead of Chris Bosh," and then Boozer becomes a joke too. I feel like LeBron James, the only person he's ever made their career better is Kyrie. I just don't understand why the chemistry issues developed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Kyrie gained value because of LeBron. Everyone else who's played with him in terms of superstars has seemed to have lost it.
Exactly.
I mean, LeBron made Kyrie better. I don't understand why LeBron would go and try and get him traded. And then it baffles me that I think Kyrie's probably the best teammate fit LeBron ever had. In terms of just like one teammate fitting with LeBron perfectly, I think Kyrie's the best player that he's ever had with him. Like, I think Wade was a nice player, Bosh was a nice player. I don't think they fit right in with LeBron the way that Kyrie did.
I agree. Alfred, Wade was the best player of LeBron, but Kyrie's the best player.
Yeah, Wade is a better player than Kyrie, but Kyrie's the best fit, I think, from a superstar standpoint. Yeah. It shocks me that out of all the teammates LeBron's ever had, Kyrie's the one that he had the chemistry issues with.
And this is the reason why, because Kyrie Irving can shoot, Dwayne Wade couldn't. And that's why I say Gordon Dragic can shoot, Bledsoe can't. Gordon Dragic will be a better fit if I'm Cleveland. I mean, you got to think about this from football standpoint also. You can't just think about this, Eric Bledsoe could dunk and play defense. He's a mini LeBron James. You got to think about it as how it will work and how it will fit together. But, Cleveland's not a small organization. They never have been. They traded, but which I thought was a terrible trade, and now it's kicking them in the ass.
They traded Wiggins? Is that what you said? I cut out a little bit.
When they traded, I was saying Cleveland's not a smart organization, and when they traded Andrew Wiggins, you seen that because when they traded Andrew Wiggins, it's kicking them in the ass now. Kevin Love has not done anything for Cleveland at all.
I mean, Cleveland historically has always made a lot of dumb moves. Even the moves that they made that have been good were easy moves to make. Like drafting LeBron number 1 overall, that's a no-brainer. And Kyrie was clearly the standout of that draft class too. So drafting him number 1 overall makes sense as well.
I mean,
and you know, in the draft classes where there's been, you know, maybe this person should go here, maybe this person should go here. What do you get? You get Luke Jackson. Do you remember him? Remember Luke Jackson? He was the 10th pick of a draft. They drafted Luke Jackson after they had gotten LeBron as a lottery pick. Like they picked up Anthony Bennett with the number 1 overall pick.
They're not a small organization. I mean,
yeah, they're incompetent. They've always been incompetent. But Luke Jackson might even be worse than Bennett because the Cavs actually had a chance to add a piece to help LeBron in terms of, you know, being a high draft pick after LeBron was already there. And I'm going to take a look at this draft, but I think there were So after Luke Jackson, Al Jefferson, Josh Smith, J.R. Smith, Darrell Wright, Jameer Nelson, Delonte West, who I guess ended up – well, okay, never mind. They don't want Delonte West on that team. Kevin Martin. I mean, there's a lot of players that were taken after Luke Jackson that could have made LeBron's early days in Cleveland better. And yet they went with a guy who was probably outside of Arujo the biggest bust in that draft. I mean, they had a chance to actually probably convince LeBron to not leave if they get this pick right. So, I mean, the Cavs have always been an incompetent organization before and after LeBron.
I don't agree with you with the Anthony Bennett being worse Anthony being better because Anthony Bennett was the number 1 pick, and they completely flopped. And he just got kicked off of a Euro team. I mean, come on, you can't be.
He's really bad. But I mean, there was really it's not like a layup like LeBron where it's like, you know, to pick, you know, this guy. This is like the number 1 clear cut. Same with Kyrie. So, but I mean, I think that even like, you know, at that point, I think that they didn't really care who they picked because they were hoping to get LeBron back in the next summer. But I mean, like when you have a chance to pick up a guy that could be a piece for your team for years, and then you pick a guy like Luke Jackson, who he definitely was one of the biggest busts in the last 15 years for a team like this. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that just only incompetent teams do.
Yeah, if you think about it, let's look at the players that were not that great, that were picked too high for Cleveland. Tristan Thompson at pick 4 was terrible. Let's be honest.
It's not even just like, I mean, I don't mind Tristan Thompson at 4. I think giving him $16 million a year is way worse than where you drafted him. I think they should have let him walk for that price.
Have to listen to their master when he's going to leave. So it's
I mean, LeBron was really obnoxious about that one.
It's like, if you don't keep him, and that's the thing about Cleveland. Aren't you tired of this guy blackmailing you guys? If you don't sign this guy, I'm going to leave. If you don't sign that guy, I'm going to leave. If you don't get these players, I'm going to leave. If I don't get this power, I'm going to leave. It's like, what the fuck? Just let him go. LeBron's not Michael Jordan. You got your ring.
DeJuan Wagner.
Yeah, you got your ring with LeBron James that you always wanted. Now, at this point, screw LeBron James. I mean, because
this is ugly. There's just a ton of busts. I mean, not like there's a few hits here and there.
Remember Tyler Zeller?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I mean, they picked Jay Crowder. Too bad they couldn't hold on to him. I like how their final pick of that season, in the 2012 draft, actually ended up so far has had the best career. Jay Crowder, I would say. I mean, Waiters is pretty decent too, but like their second rounder ended up being pretty decent. They picked Danny Green in the second round of 2009. He was better than their first rounder.
Well, he wasn't, as we all remember that Danny Green wasn't nothing in Cleveland. When Spurs got him and they developed him, he was a good 3.
He could have been. He's sort of like. He could have been. I don't want to compare him to J.R. Smith because J.R. was actually kind of an elite scorer at one point, but. I mean, he could have been a better fit for LeBron in that sort of way. He's kind of like, it's almost like it's hard to compare him to just.
He's another Shane.
He's probably the best like 3-and-D type of player.
88 type player
that LeBron could have possibly had, in terms of historically. Like he's like the perfect 3-and-D guy that you want on your team.
Oh, Cleveland earlier this summer were trying to get Danny Green, but they couldn't get him for some reason. But yeah, he's another Shane Battier type player. I think.
The thing is, I don't know if he's. I think in terms of athleticism, he's better than Shane Battier. In terms of
definitely
everything else, I'd probably take Shane Battier. But
talking about just defensive 3-point shooting, he's another Shane.
Yeah, but that's true.
What I was gonna say.
They took Jason Capono. Do you remember that guy?
Exactly.
He was like one of the best 3-point shooters in the history of the game, but he couldn't do anything else at all. He was like the OG Steve Novak, basically. That's basically what he was. Like,
And
remember Steve Novak, who just all he did was shoot threes, but he was really good at it? Basically, like that kind of guy. Or even somebody like James Jones. So the James Jones was a little bit better than Capono historically.
hey guys, I'm looking at give me some answers. I mean, some questions. I'll answer them. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Talking about the history of Kyrie and why he would want to leave.
Now,
Yeah,
what do you,
Jason Capono. He was on the Heat for a couple of years.
at the end of the day, where do you think Kyrie is going to end up?
So what I've heard, the most likely thing is that he ends up in New York. That's just what I've heard. I've heard his most likely destination is New York. And I think when you look at the trade that could happen if you make it a 3-team trade between the Suns, the Knicks, and the Cavs, I think that makes sense for all 3 teams the most. The Cavs, what they would end up getting is they would get Eric Bledsoe and Carmelo. The Knicks would get Kyrie. And the Suns would take on the contract of Kevin Love. And they would also get the Knicks pick from this year, Frank, whatever his name is, the point guard. And so they would also have their point guard of the future as well. So, they've been looking to, get rid of Bledsoe in favor of a younger guy. You could get that in that trade. So it seems like everybody has something to gain from a 3-team trade there, because the Cavs shed Kyrie and they get rid of Kevin Love's contract, and they add in Bledsoe, which is not much. It's a downgrade from Kyrie, but it's not like you're getting somebody awful. And then Carmelo and LeBron get to play together, which is what they want.
Okay.
Carmelo is gone from New York, and New York can start rebuilding around Porzingis and Kyrie. It seems like a win-win-win.
Let me stop you there. Okay. Carmelo's not going to waive his no clause. Do you really think he's going to waive that?
He said he would do it. Right now, he said he would do it for Cleveland or Houston. That's it. So if he gets to play with LeBron, he'll do it. And if he gets to play in Houston, he'll do it.
Did he say that yesterday?
I mean, he said it like over the summer that Cleveland and Houston are the only 2. Originally during the season, it was, I think, Cleveland and LA.
Changed his mind.
But now it's been modified to Cleveland and Houston.
Oh, no. That's an old report. It's Houston or nowhere. That's where
I'm pretty sure it's Cleveland. I'm pretty sure it's Cleveland too.
No.
I'm almost positive that he still is fine with going to Cleveland.
But if they,
I'm gonna look this up. Carmelo, no trade.
Think about it. He's done it by now. He does not want to be in Cleveland with LeBron. He doesn't want to be in that turmoil. I think he wants it. He said his only option is Houston. Like, the only way he will leave is Houston. And New York Knicks don't want Ryan Anderson. They want Kyrie Irving badly, but Carmelo is in the way of that, and that's why this trade has not gone out. Now, where I think he's going to end up is probably Phoenix. I think the reason this trade hasn't gone because Cleveland and LeBron James have want Josh Jackson. Phoenix is unwilling to give him up. And I think overall we're going to wait a little bit. And Cleveland's just going to accept Bledsoe and some picks and probably the big tall guy. I forgot. Call it a day.
So yeah, I mean, you were right in that he definitely would prefer Houston. I'm going to post the article here that I just found.
It's Houston only.
Oh, okay. I'm not allowed to post links, but basically, yeah. I mean, it's not Houston only per se, but Carmelo definitely at this point would really, really prefer to go to Houston. But if they can't deal him to Houston, if they can't figure it out, then he's going to have to accept Cleveland as the spot most likely.
Have to. It's a no trade clause contract.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't get why he won't waive it at a certain point. I mean, I understand living in New York and stuff, but how could you stay in a place that doesn't really want you anymore? I don't get how you'd want to do that.
Well, he doesn't want to stay there. He wants to go to Houston, and that's the only option. No. Listen. He's basically holding a gun to New York and saying, "Trade me to Houston, or you're not going to get what or it's nothing." And New York's holding a gun to him, saying, "Do you want to stay here for another year?" It's going to end badly in New York too. But
it's like a Gilbert Arenas and what's the other guy's name in the locker room pointing the guns at each other. Yeah, that was a really bad taste joke, but it's not good for either side because Carmelo's really narrowing it down for them, and he's putting himself in a position where he might have to stay in New York. And the Houston's, New York doesn't want to take Ryan Anderson's contract, which I don't know who would. So it's just I don't see how that deal gets made.
Exactly.
And honestly, I mean, Carmelo's a pretty good scorer, but do you want to sacrifice Trevor Ariza to make that deal? I mean, where's your defense at the around the wing if you get rid of Trevor Ariza? Basically, okay, so if your starting lineup is Chris Paul, Harden, Carmelo, Ryan Anderson, and Capella, you've got defense at the 1 and 5. You have no defense between 2 and 4. You have no defense with Harden, Carmelo, or Ryan Anderson. I don't know why Houston would want to do that. I don't know how that makes you a better team if you just have that kind of a porous defense. Now, there's always people who say maybe Harden could get better at defense.
Teams now, all they do is look at offense. Oh, let me read this comment. Irvin and Wade belong in Miami. Waiters feel like keeping in Miami. But that's the thing, though. We took Waiters in and we changed his mind because Irvin. People want to get on Kyrie Irving and all, being selfish. Him and Dion Waiters, they're the same people. They have the same. This is my team. When you come to Miami, you check your ego at the door. That's not going to happen down in Miami. Same. When Kyrie,
no player can do like what these guys do in Miami, and have that kind of personality. When you come to Miami, no player is the man. The whole organization is the man. All of it together. Spoelstra's part of it. Riley, Alonzo Mourning, and then all the players. They all work in harmony.
Yeah.
There's no one face of. There's never even Dwayne Wade, who's been the best player on the Heat. He's never controlled the organization.
Exactly.
In the way that LeBron seems to control the Cavs.
Exactly.
Or Carmelo seems to control the Knicks.
This is a team thing. This is not, I'm the best player on the roster, so whatever I say goes, and then the team goes into turmoil because it's out of hand. But yeah, if Kyrie Irving does come to Miami some type of way, hoping it's not including Justice Winslow, he would not have that. I don't think Kyrie Irving actually has that type of attitude. He just doesn't want to play with LeBron no more.
Waiters is a smart guy. Waiters is a guy who works hard. He's just kind of he's never really been put in a situation to succeed in the best way that he can. In my opinion, Waiters he seems like he's almost got sort of like a basketball ADHD type thing. I have ADHD, and I know that in certain circumstances it's hard for me to get stuff done. But I think you put Waiters in a system where you can just let him loose. He's a smart player, he's a talented player, and he's a hard worker. He just never really was given enough breathing room to work with. He's always, got the organization breathing down his neck, making him take bad shots. Because it's not like they're making him take bad shots. They're not giving him opportunities to create his own shot or handle the ball because he's in situations where, Russell Westbrook is holding the ball all the time or LeBron's holding the ball, stuff like that. He had his best years in Cleveland when he could actually hold the ball a little bit, and then he comes to Miami, he can hold the ball again. He has some good years again. He's not the kind of guy that can just come in, score for a little bit, and then, he has to be in, he has to get going. And he's a microwave.
Okay, so
I don't think you would play. No, I don't think you play Waiters off the bench. I think Waiters and Kyrie would be in the starting lineup.
No, we're not. There's no way Waiters coming off the bench.
Waiters is the definition of a microwave. He heats up, but you have to give him a chance to heat up, and he needs a lot of shots to do that. But he can start raining in points, and then he can start using that to get other people involved, and basically he becomes an offensive nightmare for the other team.
Yeah, it's not, dude. This is what people don't. This is not a 2K game. The Miami Heat's offensive system and way they play, Kyrie Irving and Waiters will be forced to pass more to each other and play off.
Yeah, I mean, also it's not a 2K game in that personality is actually a part of it. Like in 2K, you just got people's ratings and like that's it. There's no, you're controlling all the people. You got human beings here with personalities in a way that you can't replicate in a video game. So I think Waiters definitely has the personality to be able to work with somebody like Kyrie, but you have to be able to give Waiters minutes and you have to let him have more free reign of his shots, and that's when he's at his best. But it's not just that he's a ball hog. He'll get the ball to you off the dribble.
Yeah, you see what him and Gordon Dragic did last year together. They both were basically the same player, but they worked off of each other. Sometimes on some positions, Dion Waiters will kick and drive. Sometimes in Gordon Dragic will spot up, and then it'll be vice versa on the other possession. Like Kyrie Irving and Dion Waiters can do the same thing to even a better level because Kyrie Irving's better than him.
Yeah, I think Dragic needs the ball in his hands more than Kyrie does.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Kyrie's a better fit next to Waiters than Dragic might be.
And people,
so, that being said, is it even with all this, is it still worth giving up Winslow? I don't know.
Exactly. Dion Waiters has matured, and so has Kyrie Irving. Both of them are mature, grown men now. They're not in their early 20s playing for a bad organization. So, I don't know. I just hate when people say, well, Dion Waiters and Kyrie Irving will never work because they just both need to play the ball hawks. No. They will be playing for a better organization, a better offensive team. They're old and mature now. They both seen success, especially Kyrie Irving. He has a ring now. So, now, this is my thing. Now, whoever takes the last shot, whoever has the last shot, they just get the last shot. Now, that may be a problem, but other than that,
it's hard to say that Kyrie shouldn't get the last shot. But with the amount of buzzer beaters that Waiters hit last year, every time Waiters would get the ball in a last shot scenario, I always got excited because of how many he hit.
I think we would be more lethal like that though, because we have two closers that can do it.
I think whoever's hotter that night could just take it. I mean, if Kyrie's shooting like 1 for 10 and Waiters is shooting really well, you have Waiters take it. Waiters shooting 1 for 10, Kyrie's shooting well, you just have Kyrie take it.
Yeah. Problem solved.
Spoelstra, it's not even just that Spoelstra taught discipline on Waiters. Spoelstra gave Waiters room to mature and made the stakes really low for him. It was like, look, this is your last chance. We're going to give you all the rooms to succeed. We know you have the talent. We're going to offer you our system and we think we can make it work for you. And Waiters basically got more room to work with. And, because of that, he was able to succeed. I heard something about Luke Babbitt saying that before the season started or around the season started, he said, this is the most green light I've ever had from a coach. I mean, Spoelstra came up to me and was basically just like, if you have any sort of three, just take it. Don't even think about it, just take it. And Babbitt shot a pretty high percentage because of it. When you feel like you have confidence from your coach and you feel like you're being put in a position where you're comfortable and are in the best system and in a system that supports you and allows you to use your strengths, you're going to play better. So I think that the Heat are perfect at bringing that out in a lot of players, and that's why a lot of guys come to the Heat and have career years.
And Kyrie Irving sees it from afar, and that's why we were on his list. He sees that these guys will give you the green light. They will let you yes. Why also discipline basketball and defense.
Also, who wouldn't want to go to the beach in Miami? I mean, that's another thing too.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this Gordon Hayward thing about what he's been saying lately about Miami, and that, a lot of that just pissed me off. Honestly, what do you think about that?
I didn't see what he said. I heard that he said he came to the East because it was weak. That's all I heard.
This is what he said. He was like, once I was done talking to Pat Riley and the Miami Heat, I was ready to put on a jersey. That organization is a very good. They make you want to win. I believe I was going to win a championship with the organization. And I'm thinking to myself, all these things about Miami, why you didn't join them? I think he realized. Hey, look it up right quick. I think he realized he made a mistake. I think he's regretting. Oh yeah. Also, look up what Justice Winslow's been saying lately. Also, how he would love to play with Kyrie Irving.
I actually did a video talking about how Winslow wants Wade back, or he probably would want Wade back.
He wouldn't want Wade back.
No, he would. I mean, Winslow, there was a quote I found in the Miami Herald about Winslow saying that he fell apart in the Summer League game the day he heard Wade was leaving. Yeah. I think Wade leaving hurt his confidence.
Me too.
Let's see. I'm trying to.
Because Dwayne Wade was supposed to be to Justice Winslow what Tim Duncan was to Kawhi Leonard.
I'm trying to find that quote on let's see if this is it. I can't find the quote that you're talking about, I don't think.
You'll find it soon eventually.
I do remember that quote, though. I remember seeing that somewhere a while back.
Gordon Hayward was basically like, after I was done talking to the Heat, I was ready to put on a Heat jersey.
Yeah, I do remember him saying that. I remember reading that somewhere.
He's like Pat Riley can motivate and get the beat.
Yeah, I mean, Pat Riley is one of the best recruiters. But that's his job. It's not LeBron's job to recruit people to the team. It's the general managers.
And he was basically saying, I think Pat Riley is a very good. He was basically saying that was my best recruit offer.
But when your front office is run by two guys who are both just career winners in Pat Riley and Alonzo Mourning, you're going to be able to sell that winning attitude. Like Mourning was one of the best centers I grew up watching. And, he was on that championship team. Riley won championships as a title, as a coach, and as a GM. I mean, didn't he also win as a player too? I mean, like Riley's had a history of winning as well. Riley formed really good relationships with his players.
Yes, he's won with the Lakers as a player. That was way ago.
Yeah, he won on the Lakers.
I forgot what year. It was in the 70s, but
it was 71-72.
He's won with the Lakers off the bench, of course. But.
Yep. It was early in his career. He won. That was Wilt's. That was one of Wilt's last hurrahs right there.
And the thing about it, Pat Riley is so good. He even got the New York Knicks to be relevant, even though they didn't win. He still got them to be very relevant in the powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's not an easy thing to do. But one of the things Pat Riley has always been great at, though, is convincing players to come to Miami and win. And
guys, give me some more. I need to set something in all my systems and see when I get the video going. But guys, give me some comments.
Any questions that you want us to answer, or you want our opinions on, or something?
At the end of the day, I just think this will all end. I think Cleveland's going to, the more they wait on this, they're going to lose leverage, and they're going to have to end up trading Kyrie Irving for a bag of chips.
I wonder if they've already tried to trade, the trade with New York, and Carmelo didn't allow it. I wonder if that's already happened.
They did.
I also wonder if Carmelo would only want to play with Cleveland if Kyrie's still there to go along with LeBron. I wonder if Kyrie is a factor in why he wants to go and play with LeBron too.
I think so.
If he's being traded, like I said, what I mentioned with the Kobe Bryant thing. Kobe wanted to be traded, but he said, I don't, and he basically invoked his no trade clause when he was about to be sent to Chicago, because the reason he wanted to go to Chicago was to play with Luol Deng, and Luol Deng was going to be in a trade in return for him. And so he was like, well, I want to go to Chicago to play with Deng. If I can't play with Deng, then I'm not going to go to Chicago, So I wonder if maybe Carmelo wanted Kyrie to be there and thought maybe he would be swapped for Kevin Love. And now that he sees that he's not going to be playing with Kyrie, maybe he doesn't want to go to Cleveland as much. Yeah. That could be a possibility that Carmelo's interest in Cleveland went down because it looks like Kyrie's not going to be there either. I mean, Love's probably going to have to go too.
In the front office, is a joke, and he just doesn't want to be around there. Chauncey Billups didn't want. As much as great as we say LeBron James, how great he is, as soon as he heard about Kyrie Irving not wanting to be there no more, he didn't take the job. He already said that.
Yeah, I mean, Chauncey Billups said he didn't even know he was being considered until they offered it to him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's dysfunction. If you're going to fire your GM, you need a backup plan. You can't just go fire somebody without having somebody to replace them.
And why would you fire him? He was going to give you Jimmy Butler.
It's really dysfunctional. And that's why a player shouldn't have that much impact on a team. Because when a player has that kind of impact on a team, you end up with Tristan Thompson's contract and JR's contract and your teammate wanting to leave because you're trying to trade him yourself as a player. You end up with your GM fired, a revolving door of coaches at this point. That's why you don't want your star player to have this much power.
The biggest loser in this is Dan Gilbert because he has to pay all that luxury tax.
He's dumb though. It's a lot of it's just his fault.
He's very dumb. I said that earlier. I think Dan
he's really. I can't even feel bad for him. He's not a loser. He did this himself. Olynyk and Dragic for Irving. We can't. That can't happen until December because we just signed Olynyk. You have to wait a full month after the season to start to trade Olynyk. I also don't know how that would work exactly in terms of the cap because Olynyk's salaries, it's not huge, but it's also not small.
I don't even think Cleveland will want Olenek. You got Kevin Love. They both
Yeah.
get the
I mean, yeah, you'd also have to wait. That's why I don't think Minnesota will be able to get Kyrie. Is because you can't trade Jeff Teague because you have to wait till December to trade Jeff Teague.
Exactly.
So I'm not necessarily sure if that would.
By December, I mean by that time, Kyrie Irving, the leverage is going to be so low for Cleveland that it won't even matter. Teams are not going to try to throw in their best to get Kyrie Irving.
I have an interesting. I mean, what if they were like, okay, what about Dragic and Adebayo? What if that were the?
I heard that. I would go with that actually.
I would probably, yeah. I think we haven't seen anything from Adebayo yet, and the chances that he ends up being worth more than Kyrie Irving is probably very low because Kyrie already is basically a star. Especially he's an offensive superstar. So it's Adebayo looks like a pretty good prospect. I would probably.
That would be a steal, but Cleveland, I think Cleveland, LeBron, we know LeBron's behind all this. He would be like, I don't want Adebayo when I have Tristan Thompson. So
it's not LeBron's choice. It's not his choice.
No. They were rumors about LeBron James, and I'm not bullshitting you. All this is true. LeBron James was said he was going to sit back, let Cleveland do all the handle the whole Kyrie Irving thing situation. A lot of people were talking about that in the media, talking about he's going to sit back, go to just work out for the summer, and let them handle this. And then
he didn't do that.
And then like 2 days later, there's also rumors about LeBron James is asking, can Cleveland get Josh Jackson? He was calling Cleveland because James Jones is the VP of Phoenix now, and he was calling James Jones and seeing if Josh Jackson was available.
LeBron has to stop doing that with people he knows, personal connections and stuff.
Yeah, it's a joke. There's also another rumor talking about that Phoenix might have just got James Jones so they can go for LeBron James in 2018.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, James Jones played for them for a while. I mean, James Jones seems like a smart guy. He's not an athletic guy. He doesn't have a lot of physical skills. He seems like a smart guy. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't want him in your front office, especially with that personal connection to LeBron. That being said, they're not going to get LeBron. That's silly.
Believe that though, we signed you because we want LeBron James.
I like how people are starting to just I like how teams plan in advance for a specific person, and it's especially funny when they don't get him.
Yeah.
So if the Lakers don't get Paul George after basically moving pieces around just to ensure that they can get him, if they then don't get him, that's funny to me.
Yeah, I want to talk about other things other than Miami. This whole matchup is going to be a flop. I think it's going to be a flop.
I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't. Magic has never run the team before, has he? He's never been out. He's been an analyst.
He's owned it. He owns the Dodgers.
He's a part owner of the Dodgers, but owner and GM are not the same position.
But he's never been. And I think it's going to be a flop. This guy's always been a GM because he's won the summer league. He's like, oh, the Lakers are back. I'm like, you got
it's summer league. Summer league is all the young guys. That means they have the best young players, if anything. So I don't know. I mean, Lonzo Ball looked pretty. Looked like he got better and better over the course of the summer league.
Yeah.
He said Lonzo Ball is going to lead them to the playoffs, and Lonzo Ball is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Calm down. Come on, man. He's a rookie. I don't care how hyped or not hyped the rookie is. You can't say that about a rookie.
Yeah,
you can't say that about any rookie ever.
He was comparing this. He was comparing that this Lonzo Ball team could be the next Showtime Lakers. And I'm like, dude, you are out of your mind.
I was watching SDC. Do you know him? He's a YouTuber. He makes basically daily news videos. His name's Zach Lee. He was talking about Brandon Ingram and how Ingram's developed recently and looks really, really good.
I think so. I agree.
I mean, Ingram came into the draft being the best scorer, supposedly, in the draft. Simmons looked to be the best sort of all-around player. But Ingram came in and could have possibly been the number one pick and looked like a really nice scorer. Obviously, he struggled in his rookie year, but that could be due to the young players and the team chemistry issues that the Lakers have.
Yeah, they're just. I mean, that's what I think the Lakers are great. They've been very
also. I mean, Ingram can definitely benefit from a pass-first point guard like Lonzo Ball instead of a scoring point guard like D'Angelo Russell.
mean, because look at Kevin Durant and Westbrook. Look, I mean, Kevin Durant is so talented that he was able to put up great numbers still playing with Russell Westbrook. That tells you a lot about Kevin Durant. And when
Yeah, but I mean, Westbrook is better than D'Angelo Russell. Like, I'm not a fan of either one of them. I think Westbrook's definitely way better than D'Angelo Russell, obviously, in terms of sharing the ball.
no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I meant Russell Westbrook and I'm saying Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant when they were playing together. Kevin Durant was able to put up great numbers having Russell Westbrook as his point guard, and when he got to Golden State, they were passing the ball more, and his field goal even went up even higher. Like his field goal went up like crazy.
Oh yeah, no, he had his best field goal percentage of his career that year, this past season.
And that's a guy like Brandon Ingram, he will play better along with Lonzo Ball because Lonzo Ball is looking to give him the ball more.
Lonzo Ball is also the thing I like about Lonzo Ball that I've seen so far is not that he's a pass first guy because that's always good and stuff, but also Rajon Rondo is a pass first guy, but by pass first, it usually means hold the ball 20 seconds and then passing at the assist. Lonzo Ball looks to just immediately start pushing and move the ball. And I like guys like that because then, the defense always has to be concerned about the fast break. The defense never really knows what's going to happen. And if you're just pushing and trying to get the best look possible as quick as possible, that's a really good point guard that you want to have, especially a guy like Lonzo Ball who looked like he could be a pretty decent rebounder. So if you can grab rebounds and start pushing and like obviously Russell Westbrook, is one of those guys who, grabs a rebound and pushes. But more likely than not, Westbrook's going to run to the rim and take an off-balance shot, and it may or may not go in. But if you have a guy like Ball who not only can get the rebound and push the ball up, but he can basically outlet for like an assist. It's like a big man grabbing it for the outlet, except that he can actually run the fast break after grabbing the rebound. And that's the kind of, you can get a lot of open shots in the corner, a lot of dunks off, a guy like that who can do stuff like that. So I think Lonzo Ball definitely will make their transition game a lot better. And a lot of the scorers, especially guys like, Ingram, who's, sort of similar to Durant, those guys can thrive off transition baskets.
Now, and that thing, I don't think he's going to be the best player in the draft. He's going to be top 5, but he won't be the best player in the draft. I just don't think so.
I don't really know yet. They haven't even played a single NBA game yet.
Yeah, but I see a guy like Dennis Smith.
Jason Tatum looks really good. I like what I saw from Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum and Markelle Fultz. And hell, even De'Aaron Fox, I think he will be better.
Yeah, I mean, De'Aaron Fox doesn't have an offensive game as far as we know.
But he's so fast that he can play great he can get most of his points off of transition.
So I just want to go back to the Adebayo thing, though. Do you think Cleveland would want Adebayo? No. I mean, I don't – he looks like he could develop an offensive game better than Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, definitely. But it will be a steal for us, but I think they're going to look at him – because Cleveland's not smart, like you said. They're going to look at them and think, he's another energy guy. We shouldn't get him. I don't think they really – I don't know. I don't think they will want him. I think like I said, Cleveland said they want a star for a star, and it never works out. It's not going to happen. They're not going to get Kevin Durant for Kyrie Irving, so they can forget about it. They're not going to get.
Yeah, I mean, and like like we've already said that if the longer they wait, the less they're going to get back.
Yeah, they're killing themselves right now. Phoenix will not give up Josh Jackson. Carmelo will not go to Cleveland. They're going to have to do something sooner or later. They're going to have to do. If I'm them, I'm taking this. Yeah, okay, cool. If I'm them, I'm taking the Gordon Dragic trade, and I'm doing it now because that's the best thing you're going to get back for him.
Yeah, I mean, if Carmelo's no trade clause is keeping him from being in that 3-team deal, I think the Heat have the second best offer.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't possibly think what the Spurs or Wolves could offer right now that would be the caliber of Dragic and whatever comes with Dragic. And outside of Bledsoe, what are the Suns going to offer all their prospects look pretty good. I mean, would they offer you give Bledsoe, who else comes with Bledsoe in that deal that you're willing to give up that the Cavs would actually want?
Exactly. I don't know. This is my predictions, though. I think eventually they will accept Phoenix's trade and trade for Kyrie Irving straight up for Bledsoe and picks, some future picks, and the Dragon Bender guy or the Chris guy, one of them, and that's what's going to happen. What do you think?
Yeah, the Heat actually offered what the offer was, at least that I read, the Heat straight up offered Dragic and Winslow for Kyrie. That was the Heat's offer.
Straight up trade,
like there's no Shumpert and Wayne Ellington thrown into it, is what I meant basically.
Now I would love to see Wayne Ellington be thrown in there. And you could throw Wayne.
But then we would have to take Shumpert. Do you really want Shumpert?
Yeah, nah, I don't want that.
Like Shumpert's a good defender. He can't shoot the ball. So
yeah. You want to give Winslow draft Shumpert? Oh my god. But we'll see, man. You got any more else to say? You got any more topics to say before we get off?
Not that I can think of, unless the chat has anything for us. I mean, every team denies everything. The teams in general. If a team denies something, don't believe them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it sounds like they were pretty sure that offer happened. At least like the source that I heard.
And this is my getting off. I'm gonna say this and be done with. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna say, if we can get Kyrie Irving, if we can get him for Dragic and Tyler Johnson, Wayne Ellington, cool. But if we have to get Justice Winslow and put him in there, then no, I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to give up Winslow either. I also want to say, make sure to subscribe to Heat Lifer 305. He puts up a lot of nice Heat videos. If you like being up to date on your Heat topics and like hearing a well thought out opinion, make sure to subscribe to him.
Yeah, and my videos alone were a little more raw. So if you're PC like the rest of the world, oh well, don't listen. But yeah, and you guys should go subscribe to Ryan Winter. I already have his link in the description box to his channel. Go subscribe him up, like his videos. Heat Lifers, we're almost up to 100 subscribers. Let's get it, man. Heat Lifers,
and I'm almost at 13. I'm one away from 13. I'm at 12 currently.
Yeah, go.
But I'll just say I do more general NBA stuff, but I also do some Heat stuff as well. I've done a little bit of Heat stuff here and there.
He's a Heat fan, but he likes to talk about a lot of other things. I kind of do that too, but he does it to a more extent. So go over to his channel. He has well thought out opinions than me. I'm just straight raw with it. Yeah. But go to his videos, go give him some support.
And we do weekly streams as well. At this, it seems like we probably do them weekly, like Thursdays and Fridays.
I can do. Yeah, this is gonna be probably Friday. I can do a stream every Friday after a week of NBA news and stuff like that. So
yeah, that'd be a good idea. We could probably just make it on Fridays.
Yeah. Now when the season starts, and then I'm gonna take 2 months off sooner or later because I have stuff to do for those 2 months. But after that, when I come back around, let's say December, I don't know if I'm gonna do it for sure, but when I come back, let's say over somewhere around that time, then I'll be back to do nightly game reaction videos and stats and all that stuff. And me and Ryan can do stuff like that. So
I mean, the NBA is also about to, I mean, I'm probably going to start doing football stuff as well soon too.
Oh, yeah,
I was going to do football stuff as well, but the NBA is about to hit a dead period and football is about to start up, so that should be pretty good too. So if you like football too, come over to me as well.
I can do a few I know a little about football. So,
football and basketball are mine too.
Yeah, basketball is my main. I can do a few football videos with you too. But like I said, Heat Lifer 305 out. Let's get it. Ryan, got anything to say?
Hope you guys have a good weekend.
All right.